Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Herne road race, which I raced around 6 weeks ago, and we raced a B grade men's, and this is with West Coast Master Cycling in Perth, WA. First things first, if you like the channel and you like the content, please subscribe. It'll really help the channel out, and also give the video a thumbs up. This will help me also keep motivated to making these videos. I always like putting the GoPro on and racing and having fun with other cyclists out there and making these videos. So please, if you do like it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So latest news today, being 22nd of March, is the outbreak of the COVID-19 coronavirus. Here in Perth, we have 120 is the number. 120 has caught the virus, and our numbers are doubling every 3 days, which is similar to what happened through Italy and other countries and China until they got social isolation and they actually put in heavy restrictions around isolation. So yeah, 120 is currently infected in Perth, and we are doubling that number every 3 days. The government has just announced that they're closing the borders. They've implemented social distancing, which is 1.5 meters from each other, but even that is not really working. You still see a lot of people out and about in the cafes and restaurants. So yeah, I guess we just have to continue to go with what the current government advice is. In terms of cycling, our governing bodies, Cycling Australia, West Cycle, and also West Coast Masters Cycling have, for the foreseeable future, cancelled all racing events, so the road season is now put on hold. Some of the other precautions that they're recommending is that we limit our groups to 10 riders on group rides, that we ensure all riders are self-sufficient in case of mechanical issues, and that we leave a gap of at least 1.5 metres to the rider in front of you. And if riding two abreast, use a maximum gap of 1.5 metres. And also to maintain social distancing at cafes. And one of the things you do in cycling is everyone, you might spit off to the side or clear your nose while you're riding. These sort of things now, especially with what's going on, is recommended just to go out the back of the peloton and do what you need to do. So yeah, I think this is really going to impact local group rides, whether people are going to take on board the recommendations. Not too sure, but I know with our local group rides, the people that I ride with, we're all talking about a number of people now are just riding by themselves and and isolating. I've also had a number of friends come back from overseas. They've come back from throughout Asia and also America in the last few days, and they've had to go into 14-day isolation with what the government has implemented. So they're currently halfway through that isolation and working from home. I think the other thing it's really going to impact is local businesses, and especially small businesses. So, as cyclists, I think we need to do our bit and support local cycling businesses around Perth, and ensure that we're still bringing them business. And also the other ones that'll be impacted through this is our coffee shops. If we're not able to get to those coffee shops as much, that's going to impact those businesses, and they're all small businesses. So look, I ask you just to ensure that you can support these businesses through this time as much as possible, and continue to purchase your cycling gear from the businesses, and also grab a coffee from those places as much as you can. So yesterday I reactivated my Zwift account. So in 2016, when I first got into cycling, and Zwift sort of hit the scene, I purchased an indoor trainer, a kicker snap, and got a Zwift license. So I started doing Zwift indoors, and really found that fun. I wasn't really into cycling in groups at the time, so a lot of my training I was just doing by myself, or or commuting to work, and so I got into Zwift. Then I met a lot of other people through cycling, and actually enjoy more of the social aspect of cycling and catching up with mates and having coffee and sitting indoors just doing intervals got pretty boring, and more of the social aspect was why I got into cycling. But if more restrictions come into place, I decided to dust off the old trainer. I've always had Trainer Road and used that for rainy days, but yeah, reactivated the Zwift account yesterday, so we'll see how that goes, and maybe we can get a Zwift group in Perth going. There probably already is one. I haven't been on Zwift for years, so I'll have to look around and see what's going on, and if there's any online group rides that I can jump on with a number of the people that cycle here in Perth. So yeah, about the race, we it's a 9.5 kilometre circuit it's a square circuit, and on the day we had a strong tailwind coming down the main straight. But with a strong tailwind, this also was created a crosswind on the first straight. So this footage you're seeing here is on the after the main straight. So the first straight we had a strong crosswind coming across here, and this was where a lot of the splits and breaks occurred during the race. So this is a bit of footage coming down the main straight. As you can see, it's pretty strong out here with a tailwind. But we did 6 laps of this course, and on every lap there was either a major split that went or a major break that went on the first straight or on the back straight. So you can see in front of us here there is a split off the front, so I've got a teammate up in that split, so I'm not going to we've decided we're not going to work or try to pull back any breaks that go that's got a teammate in it. So a couple of guys here going to make it across to that bridge across to that break, so I'm just going to sit in the draft and try to get a wheel across to that break. So we had about, I think, 35 riders in this race today, so had a fairly good turnout. All grades were running, and I had four from the team racing today. So our goal was just to cover any breaks or make breaks and go in breaks. So you can see I've just been flicked through here. Again, I've got a teammate up there, but I'm just going to pull through and do a turn. I'm not going to do a hard turn to try and get it back. But then another guy comes past me quite hard here, and I see that and try to jump onto his wheel. So my GoPro ran out after about an hour, so I didn't get any footage of the last 30 minutes, but we ended up getting the whole race come back together. We ended up getting a lead out train together with Paul on front, me second wheel, and we had Matt in third wheel. We ended up getting a good break on the field, but it was around 800 metres from the final corner to the line, and we just didn't have the legs to hold off a chasing bunch behind us. So we had 3 chasing behind, and Matt ended up getting 4th. But still, 4th is a good result for us out of the field that we had for the day, and a really good race. So look, there's probably not going to be many racing videos left because we're actually on, they're all cancelled for the foreseeable future. So look, until the next video, we'll see you out on the road.